In this video presentation, I shall discuss one broad question and answer from Derozio's poem Freedom to the Slave. Now, my dear students, I welcome you all to my educational channel. The name of my educational channel is Priyankar Dotto. Here you can find video presentations on English language and literature of school level, college level, as well as of competitive examinations. Now, let us go to the main focus of this video presentation. First of all, we have to know what the question actually is. As you can see, the question is a critical appreciation of Derozio's Freedom to the Slave. And you can see the question in complete sentence here. Now, I shall discuss its answer. Written against the background of anti-slavery movement, Derozio's Freedom to the Slave poetizes the theme of freedom from the perspective of a slave. Then there is a change of para. The epigraph from part 1 of Campbell's The Pleasures of Hope highlights slavery as a subhuman phase and acts as a thematic background of Derozio's poem. The exclamatory opening suggests the jubilation of the slave on attaining freedom. How felt he when he first was told a slave he ceased to be? While the phrase first was told is dramatic in nature, the word seized, reminiscent of Wordsworth's slumber did my spirit chill, has a poetic effect. That the coveted freedom makes the slave's soul beat proudly suggests the effect of freedom on the body of the slave. In consonance with the idea suggested by the epigraph, noblest feelings begin to crop up in the mind of the slave. Not only that, the slave's thought become raised. The regaining of manhood is the result of all these. He felt himself a man. The acme of the effect of freedom on the soul of the slave is achieved when the slave feels the breath of heaven around him freshly blew. Such a realization is reminiscent of Coleridge's "We receive but what we give" theory, enunciated in the poem Dejection and Ode. No wonder the image of the flying of wild birds corresponds to the slave's uncontrolled liberty of mobility in the post-freedom phase. The poet finds in the running stream, winds, birds and floods those objects which correlate the behavioral freedom of the slave, a sine qua non of his present life. The second stanza, which theorizes freedom, sets out by presenting it as something dear. Truly speaking, freedom is the birthright of all living creatures of this universe. The religious metaphor used in the expression that freedom lights the altar of the soul with everlasting flame presents freedom as the producer of ennobling thoughts. The adjective everlasting makes such thoughts synonymous to freedom. Thus, Derozio looks upon slavery as what Blake would have called mind-fogged manacles. The phrase is taken from Blake's poem London. The expression "he knelt no more" is, however, suggestive of physical freedom. In order to give a proper conclusion to the theory of freedom, Derozio refers to two agents of freedom: the patriot in case of the country and a generous person in case of a slave. The images of sword and bleeding suggest the risk of life involved in the work of a patriot. The image of chain upholds the difficulty of the work of generous hand. That the person enforcing slavery is a tyrant places the practice of slavery as something inhuman. However, in both cases, genuine feeling and selfless sacrifice bring about freedom. The final paragraph is Divided into two stanzas, Derozio's Freedom to the Slave is noted for its use of images and figures of speech. This is all what the about the answer of the question I have discussed here. Now, before going to the valedictory session, here is an important declaration. The declaration is that for any kind of support related to this poem as well as any other literary topic and as well as grammatical topics, you can send me message in my WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is 9775121673, or you can simply drop a mail in my mail ID. My mail ID is priyankadattoenglish@gmail.com. Now, before concluding this video presentation, I request you to subscribe my channel, to share my video presentations to your friends so that they can also be benefited, and I also request you to put forward your opinion about the video presentations of my channel in the comment section of the video presentations. Thank you.